Okay. Smile, you're on candid camera.
No.
Stop it.
I'll give you three guesses.
I'm trying to figure out how to raise your volume because I can hear you in the background, but I can't understand you.
We can hear your dogs well.
That's right.
TV's not on.
There's Kevin.
Ta-da! Technology.
There you go.
Do you have the volume?
A wonderful thing.
Kevin, you look like you're in a war room with the world map.
I'm coming to your house first, Bob.
There you go.
Can you guys hear me all right?
You can.
Yes.
No.
Can you hear us?
I don't know where the volume is over here. Believe it or not, my wife might have just helped me. I can hear
Alright.
somebody laughing now.
We'll write down the date.
Yeah. Okay.
You good there, Russ?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, there he is. All right. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:01. This being Veterans Day, Armistice Day, and in remembrance of the many people who have both served in defense of our country and in many cases given their lives for our country, I would ask that we observe a moment of silence and recall the sacrifices that they have made. So if you would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. All righty, on to regular business. Correspondence. I think I'm going to do correspondence in two waves because I have some correspondence. I have a lot of correspondence that needs a lot of attention. We have a correspondence from Penflex and Marshall and Sterling that we'll get to later in the game. This one will hit up front. From the Division of Criminal Justice Services to police officer and peace officer employers. A 2020 annual validation of police officer and peace officer registry data. I would assume, Rod, that this would apply to our fire police. Is that correct?
Rod's muted.
Good, Don.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
So we need to submit a 2020 validation for our fire police. There's a portal here and a web address. I can give that a shot, Karen. I might need your help, but I have an AMR, an active member roster, so that should be a big help. So I will do that. We have also communication from New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services. We'll hit this later in the meeting. This is deadlines for the Volunteer Firefighter Enhanced Cancer Benefit Program. I have from Fire Districts of New York Mutual Insurance Company, Marshall and Sterling. Day late and a dollar short. In preparation to help you budget insurance for 2021, we anticipate the following changes to your premium. They estimate the district's decrease, that's right, it begins with a D, and premium will be approximately, I'll admit, Glenda, 0 to 5%. That wasn't much help at all, and it's way late. I have a posting from Shelter Point for our hospital cash indemnity benefit policy. Maybe Bob, I'll forward this to you and see if it means anything to you.
Yeah, no, that does. I know that's in effect.
So, okay, so we have a posting. Hospital stay daily benefit, skilled nursing facility daily benefit. Before I post it, I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, that's for our employees.
Yep, so that's only
Yep.
for Karen, Bob, and custodial.
Correct.
All right. The rest of the correspondence is going to be more worked on, so we're going to go to that later on in the meeting. That being said, there are 2 sets of minutes that we need to review and approve. I will deal first with the minutes from October 20th, 2020, which was the public hearing with a brief meeting afterwards. Karen had forwarded us the minutes for us to review. I covet a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, please.
Second it.
Okay, is there any discussion, corrections, additions, deletions? All right, that being said, what's your pleasure? Russ,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Mike?
Say it again, Mike.
Aye.
All right, and I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Those minutes are approved. We have also the minutes for the October 14th regular meeting. Covet again, motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
All right, I need a second.
A second.
Any discussion, corrections, additions, deletions? Good job, Karen. Mike, what's your pleasure? Mike?
Oh, I couldn't hear. It said boink, boink, boink. Aye.
Aye. Kevin?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Okay. Financial portion of the meeting. We have all had opportunity to review the vouchers, and I covered a motion to pay the bills per the abstract.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Michael. I need a second.
Second for discussion.
For discussion. Any discussion?
We got that one bill that was had Wes Clinton's name on it. It looks like Bob is fixing it.
Well, we have he forwarded us and copied us on a series of bills that were made out correctly to East Clinton. So Bob, I would assume that you would throw away the bills that were made out to the invoices made out to West Clinton and attach the East Clinton bills to that voucher.
That's correct.
All right. Any other discussion, additions, deletions?
Bob,
corrections?
I didn't sign that check, so you can sign it
That's
in lieu of
fine.
me.
Yep, I'll sign it.
All right. Anybody else? All right, included in that was that $5,600 bill for the ambulance. We'll deal with that next. All right, so that being said, Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. Motion to pay the bills carries. Okay, we all have had opportunity to review the financial statements. I would move that we approve the financials, as I do find the bank balances and so on to be in order with that which Mr. Pasikoff submitted and Bob. So I do move that. I'm looking for a second.
Second.
All right, take your choice, Karen. Any discussion?
Jim, a question for Jim Pasikoff, if I may.
Yeah, yeah.
Jim,
I'm here.
I saw some it looked like we were in the negative for expenditures on some of the line items. I think it was page 3. I don't have one in front of me. Is everything okay as far as our remaining?
Page 3 is the income.
Okay, then it was 4. I just
We've
saw some-
we've taken in more income than what we had budgeted.
Okay,
That's number one. Number two, on the expense side, what we're really interested in is that the areas stay under budget. For example, you got the salaries stay under budget, the equipment stays under budget. There are about 4 pages of contractual expenses. As long as the total is under budget, we're okay. And the same thing on the benefits.
okay.
The benefits are on 7 of 8.
Okay, so we're not in the negative on any.
No, you might be
totals.
on 1 or 2 line items, but in total, you're fine.
Okay,
On at the beginning of the year, next, we make that grand sweeping correction motion and we're told that that makes everything good. What
Okay.
are our expenditures year to date? Looking for that real quick.
That'll be on page 8 of 8. The total expenses so far this year are 344,000.
So we got 203,000 headed into essentially
November and December.
November and December, and that leaves us some cash to carry over into first quarter next year.
Correct.
Before
and then we
get
got all our insurances coming in March,
Yeah,
early March.
we've been getting the check early March, so I don't foresee that as an issue. All right, and now the independent audit that was filed with the town, I want to confirm, is that correct?
Yes, it was.
And it was filed with the comptroller's office, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so we're good on that. And then we had a large expenditure on the ambulance, $5,600. That was the oil cooling pump, is oil cooler, is that oil cooler? Is that what that was, Kevin? Kevin Russell?
I don't think he heard you.
Yes.
All right, and it was a few $1,000s worth of parts, but a lot of labor. It looks like they basically had to take the thing apart from the front and from the doghouse on the inside. We do need a motion to approve that $5,600 and make it official, because per our purchasing policy, it exceeded the amount that Kevin was able to approve. We all were aware that it was going to be at least $5,000, but we did go over. So we do need kind of a retroactive approval for $5,600 to repair the ambulance. So I would so move.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, that being said, go ahead.
Just a reminder to the commissioners that we really can't vote via email behind the scenes.
Yep. All right, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Okay, I vote aye, that motion carries. Anything else for Mr. Pasikoff?
Yes. Bob Simon, where are you?
He's at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Mute, Bob.
Yeah. We're wondering if we want to do the GASB for the LoSAP portion.
Oh, good point.
Because part of the bill that we're paying right now for Penflex is an audit bill. There's a few $1,000s there. Jim, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you don't have a choice. You have to do it.
You have to go the way we're going.
But there,
Yes.
there were two choices though, Jim. You say we don't have a choice. There was the New York State LoSAP audit package for a fee of $495, and there was the complete GASB 73 package for twice that amount, or $950. I think last year we did the $495. What's the difference?
The difference is that they provide the actuarial unfunded liability and they put that in footnote as a footnote so it can go into the financial statements. If they don't do it, the auditors are going to do it, and they're probably going to charge them 4 times as much as what Penflex charges.
So you
Which
recommend-
auditors? Which auditors?
Oh, the
Your outside
independent.
auditors.
Okay,
In this case, it would be RBC.
okay.
So your recommendation is we do the GASB 73
Yes.
for $950. So that being said, thanks Bob for bringing it up while he was here. I have a document here that they are asking me to sign authorizing either one of those 2 packages. So on Mr. Pascoff's recommendation, I would move that I be authorized to sign this East Clinton Fire District Service Award Program document authorizing a preparation of financial statement disclosures for the complete GISB 73 package for a fee of $950. And I covet a second.
Second it.
Okay, any discussion? All right, that being said, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I will sign that as we speak. There's a copy here. What's today? 11/11/20. And I will get both the original and the copy to you, Karen. One so you can mail and the other so you can file.
Okay.
Thank you.
You should also have a contract for next year with Penflex.
Well, let's see what else we have here.
Well, we just signed one of the bills this month was $4,000 for Penflex, and if I remember right, that was from a date in this year to a date in next year. Is that what we're talking
That's
about?
that's what I'm talking about. But I think there's a contract you have to sign with it.
No, I don't see it. Oh, wait a minute. So yeah, there it is. On the contract is on this service award program is the base fee of 4,000, which we paid, and the 950.
Steve, a question. Do
Yeah.
they mention both LoSAP programs on that sheet, or is it just the historical one?
I see no breakdown or no mention of a defined benefit or defined contribution or differentiation between.
Okay, that's a phone call. I'll call them tomorrow and ask the question. Is that all encompassing? Because I haven't seen a lot of documentation to split the two.
Yeah, all right. All right, but we've still got this document that we've signed and we will send in to them.
Is it-
I'll get that to Karen.
I need a copy of that contract too.
Better go out. I have to do that. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Patsikoff? Alrighty then. That being said, thank you, Jim. Have a good evening.
You too. Good night.
Yeah, good night. All right, Mr. Estes, what say ye?
13 calls for the month of October, 90 as of October 31st. The drill this month will be held on the 11th, 11/17, and it will be a combination drill with fire and EMS. We will not be having an EMS drill this month because it falls on Thanksgiving week. That's given a break. So what we're going to do is heavy extrication with airbag lift and also walk through the setting up of a LZ, which is very good practice. As Steve will attest to, and Steve, as a secondary backup, you have not heard anything back from the 3 members that received the letters as far as not taking their physicals yet.
Right, we sent 3 letters out to the individuals who did not get a physical in the month of October, informing them that they could not participate and they needed to contact either Don or myself to state their intentions relative to further participation. I have not gotten an answer from either of any of the three.
Nor I.
All right.
Nor I. All in favor? Aye. Mike? Aye, thank you. Went over the LoSAP points requirements and including with the defined contribution plan with the members reviewed there at the company meeting, stated clearly there will not be any COVID points. And my feeling was totally in support of the Board of Fire Commissioners on that. It was not a necessary thing to do. Officers were also reminded that the officer points, which were permitted by the Board of Fire Commissioners last year, are not, I'm not giving them out if the officer did not indeed earn said points. So right now, there's probably 3 officers who will not be receiving their points for different reasons. But when I said last year, when we went through and I said, please let the officer points remain, it was more for the people to take the position that the points would not be awarded free, and they are not being awarded free. So that was brought back up where people basically stood. Steve saw it. So everybody should be on board in the company as far as those points are concerned. I am dogmatic about it. Karen does a fantastic job, and it's posted every month for everybody to see where they will potentially be. Same thing was done with the OSHA points, the ability to respond points, which includes the drills and the module and the physicals. The highest volume of members are absolutely, if not done, on the brink of being completed with all that. We will have a makeup session in December. There's a number of members that need OSHA, and so our December will be concerned with getting everybody wrapped up that needs to be wrapped up. Also, members are told that they could contact myself or a deputy chief to get a makeup session one-on-one. They were also told that we will not chase them down, but we're making every point to validate their response, but they must have all that completed to respond. And then I guess reiteration that they had 2 months to make it up in the following year, which they could not respond in that period of time. Is that correct, Steve?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, so it's very clear, and it's I will not have a member respond who hasn't met the OSHA standards, because I'm the guy that's going to say it, share a cell with Bubba, and I'm far too old for that. The old extrication tools are on their way to North Collins. They may have arrived already. I haven't heard. I'm sure I will when they get there. The rehab vehicle has been winterized. I said that, remember, and I believe, Steve, you wanted me to bring this up for approval of the Santa parade on, well, I'm calling Santa. I don't know if Santa's going to be there, but the parade on 12/19, similar to the parade that we did for Memorial Day. We can't do a in-person Santa Claus gift giving type of thing, but we will, if it's cleared, we'll do a detailed map, drive through the district only, will remain in our district on the 19th of December, Saturday.
All right, so that would be 99% in district.
Yep. Yeah, let's see, where would we cross over? Yeah, I would say 99.9. There may be but yes.
All right, any questions for Don? All right,
Don?
go ahead,
Okay.
Bob.
On the rehab vehicle, we need to coordinate some activities.
Yeah, we can do that offline.
Okay, that's fine. And do we have to vote on that out of district?
Yeah, I was gonna move that we authorize the company on the 19th to use the vehicles in district for the annual,
Oh, you got the.
what do we want to call it?
Holiday run.
Holiday run. In lieu of our ability to do a Santa type of activity. So I covered a second.
Second for discussion.
Okay, discussion.
Give them a range of dates. Don't pin it down to one day.
All right, yeah, in case we have foul weather. So between the 15th and the 24th? That, somebody seconded that.
I did.
All right,
I'm good.
all right, so we have a modification of the motion for the, you got that, Karen, between the
Yep.
15th and the
Yep.
24th.
Got it.
Any other discussion? Kevin, what's your vote?
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Mr. Bathrick, are you present?
Nay.
Nay. Mr. Russell?
Yep.
Step up to the microphone. We can barely hear you.
All right, he's close. He's an old guy. It takes him a little while to get there.
The only thing I have is the 63 has got an antifreeze leak, and I talked to Fleet Pride, and they think it's the water pump.
63 being the mini pumper.
Correct. I went down there, I talked to him, I says, you worked on it this spring with that oil leak, did you mess with anything with the antifreeze? They said no.
All right, so we're gonna get that in and get it looked at some
And
point.
next week, he told me to call him and we'll make an appointment.
All right, we got our policy, so you do what you do. Okay, let me see. Anybody there for support?
Nay.
Anybody there for fire police?
Nay.
Anybody there for rescue squad?
Was
Yes, me.
maybe
I think 13 calls for the month. That puts us around 116 for the year. Pretty much the ambulance is back in service, of course. And we plan on doing another CPR class for 4 more members, either in November or early December. And of course, Don already mentioned we're combining the EMS drill with fire drill, so that's it for EMS.
All right, and safety wise, I will say that the department is doing moderately well in wearing their masks. And I don't think it's necessary at this point, but you know, in the meeting room where social distancing is virtually impossible to maintain, masks should be worn at all times. And in the bays where social distancing cannot be maintained, masks may be worn at people's discretion. But a quick call where you have a couple people in front of a apparatus compartment door, mask should be worn. And to Timmy Bathrick's credit, he did mention that at the department meeting. But we're doing okay, but we cannot get complacent in this aspect. All right, I think that settles it for the reports.
Steve,
Yes,
did we
sir.
get a report on the status of the election?
Well, I got it on the agenda.
Okay,
I do have it on the agenda.
okay.
Membership, let's do membership. I have a letter here that was given to me, Karen, a copy of, and Ed said he was going to get you a copy from Kim Williams, formerly Kim Klemenko. Is with heavy heart that I submit my resignation from active membership. I have moved out of the district and can no longer make calls. I would like to remain a social member and continue in the position of secretary. So she needs to make that modification to the active member roster. We also had an application from a new member who lives local and who has firefighter 1 and firefighter 2, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Don?
Yes, that's right.
All right, so we need, what was his name?
Stephen Weiss.
Stephen Weiss.
Yes.
All right. So Karen, are you in receipt of that application?
I have the application. It's ready to go for the background check.
All right, so we need to authorize Karen to submit for the background checks. And that being said, if it comes back in December, we need to vote. And at that point, if we vote in the affirmative and he passes the background checks, not necessarily in that order, then we would authorize him to get his physical. So I don't think we need a motion. I think we just stated that for the purpose of it being in the minutes. And I will also say, Ed, while we have you, Kevin Nelson is put an application in. I think, did he get his physical? Is that where we are? He had already gotten his physical before we had the new, his driver's license number bounced back. So I need a valid driver's license from him, Ed.
Okay.
All right, but I tried to put him on the lens system and it said he was invalid.
Okay.
All right, so we can look into that.
Okay.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
what's his status at this moment in time?
He's awaiting a BFO course.
No, as far as being an active district member, driving and all that stuff. What is his status?
What do we call his status, Don?
He's interior firefighter.
Is he? Yeah, but he needs to take the course, right?
He's got firefighter 1 and 2.
No, that's Stephen Weiss.
Okay, who are you talking about?
Nelson.
Kevin Nelson.
Oh, the kid. He will have to take the course. He would be called a probationary exterior firefighter.
So he's probationary at this point.
I guess my question, Steve, is we don't have a valid driver's license for him, which is required for application. What is his status as far as the district?
Does he have a pager?
I don't know. Does he have a pager?
No.
No.
Then he's not an active member until we get a driver's license and and at that point we can we have, I believe, a standard for him responding as a probationary member. Is that correct, with a sponsor and so on?
That is correct.
All right, so when we get a valid driver's license, then he can get a pager and then he can respond as a probationary member.
You do not have to have a driver's license to be an active member.
No, because that would disqualify some people.
Correct.
Who are very important.
Correct.
In theory, you can get a New York State ID that's not a driver's license, and we could require that, but for our policy, we don't as of yet.
I mentioned something along that line.
What's that, Russ?
I don't know if this has been changed or not, but on page 10, active member policy, item number 4, active members shall have a valid New York State driver's license. Now, have we modified that? That's maybe something that's been changed.
You get him, Junior.
That's a good question. I mean, we had discussion about this, and for people who did not have a driver's license, my recollection is that we thought we couldn't require that.
Well, we obviously need to get that out of the active member policy then, because I had that question to go along with Rod's application for membership tonight, because I looked back and I said, well, wait a minute, you're in direct opposition to what it says on page 10, have a valid driver's license.
And that's a fairly new policy that we put in place.
Rod, what's your counsel if we have people who don't have a valid driver's license, but I mean, we have,
I don't see where there is a requirement to be a firefighter that you need a driver's license.
Who's that?
Now, granted, you are, the firefighter is restricted. They cannot even drive to alarms because they're driving on your nickel. So it's difficult for someone who does not live close to the firehouse to be a firefighter if they can't drive there. But I don't see where a driver's license is necessary to be a firefighter. And so
would
you would
it
have
be
a hard.
would it be reasonable? Doesn't most states supply a picture ID that's not a driver's license?
And what would be the purpose of that?
I'm just asking if there would be a purpose to that.
If there's if the purpose is to provide some sort of governmental identification, then not only a state issued ID, but a passport might be enough. And any form of governmental ID might be acceptable. But I don't see where a government issued identification card is necessary to be a volunteer firefighter.
They probably get most of the people that are under 18. I would assume, don't most high schools give them an identification card, a school ID card? You know, that would be sufficient. But my thing is here, under the active member policy, it specifically states they must have a New York driver's license. So it seems like we've got to address that in page 10 of the active member policy.
Is there anything else on the active membership policy while we're there, Russ, that you see that you think is questionable?
Well, let's see, I've got down here. Hold on a second. No, but later when we get to the application that the draft that Rod's got, I've got a few other questions. Like I say, one of them is this one right here. And we'll address that when we get to that, because
But nothing else in active member policy.
no, it's just that, like I said, I do see.
Okay, would you care to move that we remove that requirement from the active member policy?
Well, I don't know. I like to have somebody else discuss it and see what they're.
Well, we can discuss it once we get a motion on the table.
All right, I make a motion that on page 10 of the current East Clinton Fire District Policy Book, under active member policy number 4, that be deleted, where it requires they have a valid New York State driver's license.
All right, I'll second for purpose of discussion. Any discussion?
Dave, just as long as everybody knows that if they don't have a driver's license on file with us, they cannot drive to any activities, because they're on our dime taking calls for insurance. There is a hazard there.
Okay, that's a point well taken. But if you don't have one, you can't submit one.
Yeah, but
Of course,
they
you
could
can't
still
drive
get in a
either.
car and drive and then have an accident and then come and say that potentially well, they were responding to a call and it was emergency and they had to do it. It's just something to know about and make sure all the chief officers watch out for that type of stuff.
All right, anybody, any other discussion? All right, Mike, what's your pleasure? Kevin?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. We will, Karen, you'll modify that policy
Mhm,
accordingly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything, yeah.
All right, well, we're talking about active member, oh, crud, I should have done this while we were there. The active member roster, because of the new requirements that we have relative to the we call it supplemental cancer insurance. Is that what we call it? I had it right here.
Done with me.
The enhanced cancer benefit program. We are making an effort to add to the active member roster the New York State training identification number. Don, have we had a luck getting all, is it 10 or 11 interior fighters numbers?
Ask Karen.
I do have those numbers. I got them late. I got them today.
Okay, all right. And we have them for all the interior firefighters.
I believe so.
All right. So at that point, we can submit a firefighter roster, which we must do on or before 12/1 of this year.
Steve, I got a question, and maybe Rod can help. Those numbers, do we have the numbers for the people that are exterior that were interior, and anybody that's left in the last 5 years that were interior and have left the company? Do we need those numbers for those other people? Rod, that may be a question for you.
Well, are there numbers given out for exterior only firefighters?
Any course you would take with New York State, you got to have your training ID, right?
Okay, so we should keep track of those numbers.
Yeah, and that was our intent. Bob did not stop at getting numbers for interior only. We are pursuing everyone's numbers, but we have them all, I think, for the interiors that are on that roster, which would include people who are currently exterior but have been interior in the last, is it 5 years?
5 years.
So
I thought it was, wait a minute, for if you're active, I thought it was forever until you've left the company and then 5 years out.
I think we just included those people
Okay.
Okay.
So you've answered my question. We've got the numbers.
Yeah, we have the numbers, so we can supply a roster. So they're suggesting that we mail this form in mid-November. It doesn't say to whom.
There's an office in New York State. I forget the name of it, that stuff, they're keeping track of it.
Well, there's an address at the bottom of the form. So Karen, can you put a roster together with what the information you have?
So you want the roster for the 10 interiors?
Yeah, and it would include the New York
on the
State
active
ID.
member roster with their ID numbers.
Yep.
Okay.
All
And
right.
so I'll
and
put
then
that together and send it to you, Steve.
I will give you this form and then you can mail it.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
That's fine.
All right, I'll put it with the Penflex paperwork.
Okay.
All right, so that takes care of cancer insurance roster.
If we have any new interiors, we've got to get them on our insurance, because I think this new fellow is coming in. He's going to be an interior, I think.
Right.
So we've got to remember to add him.
We got 2 potential people to add.
Okay, that's great.
Yep. One who has the credentials and one who is looking to get the credentials.
But right now they're not. Our insurance company
They're
doesn't.
not
know about
active. I don't think we should add them till they're active.
it. Okay.
All right.
Got one more thing.
Yeah.
I got a letter here from Tim Odell,
Oh, yeah.
and he is resigning from the group, sport group, effective 10/12/2020. I assume he is still staying with fire police, but I have not heard contrary to that, but he has resigned from the support group.
Yeah, we had that and read that into the meeting minutes in October. Thanks, Ed.
You did, okay.
Yep, yep.
I'm
This
done.
may not be the right time, but Karen sent out a thing listing the people that had their physicals. And I sent a reply back to her because Tim Odell was listed twice. I believe October 10th or 12th, October 2nd and 16th maybe. And I wondered, did he get 2 physicals? I hope we're not being billed for 2 or.
He had a return to duty physical is my recollection, and then he had his regular physical.
Okay, so was a reason for him being there twice.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that your recollection, Don, also?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we did all get a list of the people who took their physicals, and it was just a pass or a fail on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we all have that list. All right. That letter was sent. Do we want to talk about the election? Karen, you and I have had a lot of communication back and forth. The district election is at the Valley Community Church from 4 in the afternoon till 9 in the afternoon. You have you have 3 election workers and a door guard, so to speak, right?
Yes, that's correct.
You have all those people lined up.
Mhm.
You have met with the people at the Valley Community Church. You said you were going over to get a lay of the land. Did you get a good look at the?
Yeah, I went today and I'm going to meet them there at 3 o'clock on election night. We have the setup for the tables. We're going to have in one door, out another door. We'll have the tables will be just so people can come in, sign in, fill out the ballot, drop the ballot, and go out the door.
Okay, and it's spacious enough that you feel comfortable with it?
It's very spacious. It's got a high ceiling. It's a big room. They're moving everything towards the back. They just want enough seats for who's working. They don't want people hanging around, but who's going to do that?
Right, yeah, who would hang
And
around?
I went to Staples today and bought a box of 60 pens, plenty of the 2 of the great big things of wipes, the antibacterial stuff for your hands. And I bought some poster board to make some posters because I figured I can just make a sign.
All right. Now, Bob Simon, we have a supply of just the regular duty masks. I would like a box available at the election. So if people show up without a mask, we can offer that to them.
Do we charge them?
Spoken like a true treasurer.
Yeah, no, we'll have a package of masks there for them.
All right, and if any of the election workers, so that would be Karen, the 3 election inspectors, or the person at the door, is desirous of an N95 mask, I agreed that they would have access to those. So I know we have some N95s that we want to make available to them also.
Okay.
I'll put a note out to everybody and see if that's something that they'd like. I'll let you know, Bob.
Yeah, please. All right, anything else? I will show up after the election and help to sanitize. What was the deadline for people to submit their applications to be put on the ballot for commissioner?
18th.
The 18th of this month. So we have another week.
Correct.
All right. Do we have just the 2 so far?
Correct, yes.
All right.
Karen, is the church satisfied with the insurance coverage?
They didn't ask, I didn't think to ask them about it, but we went over everything today and she didn't ask me for anything. So she would have brought that up.
All right. And do you, Karen, have any concerns relative to this or any more questions or need of any more help, or what can we do for you?
No, I'm just going to put up a sign outside the door that just says masks required to enter the building.
All right. And are we going to put a sign on the door of the firehouse advising them that the elections are at the?
Yes, I'm going to put a sign directing people to the Valley Community Church.
Anything we missed, Rod?
As soon as I got it covered.
All right. We're going to run with that. Now, West Clinton update. I think they're meeting tonight. I called Todd specifically to inquire and to understand what their objection was to the contract, to see if we could alleviate any of those concerns. I have not heard back. I expect to hear back from him after the meeting that I think they also have tonight. So I did make that contact. Now, district policies. I don't know, Rod submitted this evening a policy for active membership. Have people had opportunity to look at that? Do we want to look at that, or do people want to browse that and come back to that next month? There's not a lot to it, so I'll looking for consensus here, some input and consensus.
Can you put it on the screen?
I will put it on the screen, sure. Share
Yeah.
screen there. Share. Bada bing. Or as we say at work, well, bam.
Here you go, Mike.
I have two questions about it.
Go ahead.
Well, my first question is, what was missing from the current policy that we needed this, but I see in the current policy, they mentioned probationary period, and there's no mention of it in this, and I don't know if that's something we should consider having or not consider having.
I think the intent here was more to define the process, because we seem to get muddled with the process.
Well, like I say, in the current one on, I think it's page, what was it, 43, or I was looking at it earlier.
At the district level, there's not a probationary process. There's a probationary process at the company level, which the company can certainly put whatever probationary requirements they want into it. But as far as the district is concerned, you either have an active member or you do not.
Okay, so do they have another application for the company that could be mentioned in this? And
No, Russ, they start with the company, and then the company brings the member of the company to us, and we say yay or nay.
okay, so I see in page 19, it says the fire company may impose a probationary period for the applicant. So that was in the application for membership in the current thing on page 19. This is an application for membership. It doesn't mention that, and I don't know if it needs to be in there or whether you want to have it in there.
If the company takes someone in as an active member and they send it on to the board either accepts them as an active member or not. Now, if the company has requirements for that active member, such as the active member has to jump through 5 hoops every Monday, and he doesn't do that, then the company can dismiss him as a member of the company, which automatically results in him being dismissed as a member of the district.
Rod, I have a question on that. Can the district override an action such as that to being unreasonable? And is a second part to that question, does the district have any liability if we don't?
No, the district has no liability, and no, you can't override what the company does. If the company takes a member in and then ends up throwing him out for whatever purpose, that's the company's prerogative.
So does the company have a separate printed book of rules?
I don't know that.
I mean, I know.
And really, I don't want to be, sound, hurt, but that's really not the district's issue. The district can say, this is what we want to see in an application from the company. And the company gives us the application with the background checks and the driver's license if they have one. And then the district acts on that. If the company decides to throw somebody out, whether they're on probation or not, the district has no say in that process.
Okay, I just saw that it was previously in there and wondered if we wanted it left out. And now, since we already removed the qualification that they have to have a driver's license, we need to change the wording. The last sentence on the first page says the application will not be considered to be complete unless the applicant's driver's license and results of background check are included. So I
thought about that, but if you look a little further up in that in that paragraph, it says the application must include a copy of the applicant's driver's license if the applicant possesses one.
Right, I see that, but here it says they've got to have it. So I'm thinking maybe after the license, you put if possessed or something like that, because I realized before if they have one, but it just sounds to me like they've got to have it the way that sentence is worded.
I would say,
But I'm all right with it, whatever way you want to go.
I would say driver's license or acceptable form of identification.
Fair enough.
Mike, the company requires an identification. They even require the social security number of an individual to join
Yeah, I'm just saying.
on their application. So we have their ID.
Okay, then why are we asking for it again?
There you go, being common sense.
Now, again, in my mind, this was as much, this is an, works in parallel with the policy that already exists, and more is to define the process, because we kept getting muddled up and in the process. Right, and I think key here is the definition that, and I'm looking for my cursor and all of a sudden I can't find my cursor to the right. You know, we're in situations before where there wasn't a prescribed cadence, if you want to use that word, and you know, this kind of defines what that cadence is supposed to be, and grounds the process. And so in my mind, Russ, this is not to replace it. It's an adjunct to it.
All right.
And the board certainly has the ability to approve the application form which the company gives to a prospective member. And so that would be the step 2 of this process. Let's get a copy of the application which the company gives to a member, and maybe the board wants to add certain items to it or take some away.
We could take some away?
Sure. This is the board's approved application.
And the department could have their own.
Sure, they can have their
separate
own
application if they wanted.
But the board wants this. So, I mean, in that document, the board certainly has the ability to either require a driver's license or a governmental identification card, or an affidavit swearing that this person is who they say they are.
Rod, why do we need both us and since we have something to say in it, why does the social security number have to be used to join a fire department? I'm not sure. I'm not comfortable with that.
Because you have to provide that number to the LoSAP administrator. You have to provide that number to the LoSAP administrator.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Granted, it's a piece of information that has to be kept under lock and key.
Yeah, that's my concern. That's for eyes only.
Want but keep in mind that if the department asks for it on their application form, and then the department discloses that to someone who shouldn't get it, that's a department issue, not a district issue.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, the district's role is similar to that of an employer, right? And just as there could be the expectation that an employer would maintain certain private information securely, right? There would be a reasonable expectation that we would do the same. We obviously have the responsibility to do so, right? So we supply our employers social security numbers, certain health information, and so on. I think it's a similar relationship.
But if the department has information about an applicant or about a member, and they disclose it wrongfully, they're on the hook for it, not the district.
Right. Are you listening, Ed? All right. I think a way to move forward here, and feel free to disagree, gentlemen, is for the department to give us their application for membership, and we can review that next month in conjunction with this and move on. But if people have a different idea, let me know.
I'm good with that, Steve.
Russ, you good with that?
Yep.
Kevin?
Yep.
Mike?
Yes,
You're
that's
muted,
fine.
but I'm gonna, if
That's
you,
good.
all right. So, I'm in for some excitement tonight, Karen. You've got some sealed bids. There were 3 items, that were out on Craigslist. I know I've gotten a plethora of responses. I don't know how many sealed bids you have, and,
I think I'm up to 18.
okay. And I had people even emailing me tonight wondering if they could get their sealed bids in.
There was a cutoff date, the 10th, wasn't it?
The cutoff was today, but there was
20
no mail
actually.
running today,
Well,
so.
I put the I put the 10th in the notice because there was no mail today.
Right, okay. So I guess you can open the sealed bids, right? You're in possession of all of them, and I'm assuming they
Okay.
didn't.
And let me ask you a question. All of a sudden, my computer, all I have shown is the word Zoom. Can you still see me?
We can see you.
'Cause I can't see anybody. Just hearing the voices.
Hearing
So do you
voices,
say,
right?
what do I say here? Do I say who they're from? Do I say who they're from? The
Who they're
bid?
from and the dollar amount.
Okay, this one is from
On the item, please, first.
the item first, the trailer.
Okay.
This is a bid for the trailer for $650 from Palmerino Sub-Zero from Warwick, New York. This is from Janet, oh, sorry. This is the Hallmark 10 utility trailer. $700 from Janice Danielle.
He's the winner so far.
This is for the trailer for $889 from Guy Dobson.
Keep going that way.
Utility trailer, $525 from Saul Nives.
That ain't gonna cut it.
Hallmark utility trailer, $801 from Thomas Monahan.
Close, but no cigar.
Nobody wants to fish, I guess.
I got a couple late inquiries on that. I think if we reran it, I would let those people know that we didn't get something and we could sell it. So let's see what we get.
For the Hallmark utility trailer, $1,660 from Richard Spa.
1660?
$1,660. Yep, for
Oh.
the Hallmark utility trailer.
Woohoo.
166.
Yep, 1660.
That has significance to me. I did a bid like that because it had something to do with a social security number.
Here for the utility trailer, $753.
No, sorry, Bob.
That's from Edward Tordale.
We should have popcorn. This is exciting.
Yeah, but I can't see anybody.
Okay, Hallmark utility trailer, $742 from John Causeratus.
Nope.
Hallmark utility trailer, $755.50 from James Berliner.
Nope.
I don't know what I did, but now I can see you people again. Just keep clicking on things.
For
Careful
the
with that.
trailer, the Hallmark utility trailer, $708 from Dennis Ryan. For the Hallmark utility trailer, $1,200 from Carlos Castel. Hallmark trailer, $675 from Bob Benzenberg. Hallmark utility trailer, $600, Stefano Malacone. Hallmark trailer, $649.50 from Chris Wasserbach. Hallmark utility trailer, $750 from Rosemary O'Brien.
Hope we know what the title is to the trailer.
We do.
Okay.
Wow.
Hallmark utility trailer, $500 from Michelle. No, wait, now she's got something else. I bid $600. Michelle something. She bid 600. Hallmark trailer, $1,120 from Chris. Hallmark trailer, $625 from Terrapin Tree Care. Hallmark trailer, $931 from Kevin Russell. For the boat trailer, Motos and cover, $1,093 from Jeffrey Russell. That's the boat trailer, motor and cover, boat trailer, motor and cover, $1,930 from Jeffrey Russell.
1930.
1,930.
Yeah.
And that is it that I have.
All right. So we got two winners. I know we have the title for the trailer because you found that, Karen, right?
Yes.
The 2005 Hallmark. I'm not so convinced what we have on the My Jeffrey Russell, Kevin, that would be Jeffrey Russell that's related to you? Kevin?
Yeah, you're on mute. Say it again, Kevin.
I said, well, you guys should have something because you got a plate on the trailer of the boat.
Yeah, but is that Jeffrey Russell was the winner? Is he related to you?
Yes, my son.
Okay. All right. So we can work that out. And then the Richard whatever, Karen, if you get me the title, what do you think, Rod? It's got to be cash in an envelope, right, for the title?
But you gotta have a title for the boat trailer and you gotta have a title for that boat itself.
Yeah,
The
we'll
boat's
find that.
registered.
Cash in an envelope, Rod?
Yes, or a certified bank check.
Or certified bank check. Okay. So if you give me that contact information, I will contact Richard and we know how to get hold of Jeffrey Russell on the boat and we can work that out, Kevin, with you. Is that good, Karen?
Yeah, I mean, the bid from Jeffrey Russell was for the boat, trailer, motor, and cover.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
a package.
Oh, there was 2 trailers? Oh,
yeah, there was a trailer with the boat.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that guy Richard that did 1,660, he's the one that got the other trailer.
Yeah, he got the hallmark. So if you
All
give me
right, so I'll
Richard's
get you his
contact
contact.
information,
Okay,
I will get a hold of him and tell him what we need. All right. All right.
Any bids on the air hammer?
No, I guess not.
Guess I should put a bid in.
There was no minimum either. So at this point, it's just surplus equipment and we'll have to decide what we want to do with that. All right, we did that. We need to continue with an application. Marshall and Sterling Insurance sent a form for me to, or for us to, it's a renewal questionnaire. And I would assume they're going to use this to see if our rates need any changes. Okay. Bob, do we want to put you in as the contact again?
Sure, for now.
Okay. It has part-time employees as 2. Should that not read 3?
I think there's 3. Should be. I think there's 3.
All right. Part-time. No full-time. It has active volunteers as 32, but we don't have that many on the roster. How many do we have on the roster, Karen?
This is for next year, right? 2021.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin Nelson's not on the active member roster yet?
That's not as of yet.
Okay, so that's 29.
29.
For next year, what is it? Williams is going to be off, but we're going to add 2 others. So we want to have, we don't want to shy ourselves.
We can stick with 32.
Yeah, I would.
All right. I don't think our population has changed. The responses look accurate at 120 and 140. They have 4 structures that they're covering: the fire station, the barbecue pit, and 2 storage containers.
What are you doing, man?
They have a deductible of $500 and a contents limit of $158,000. Content would not include the trucks. I don't know the answer to this. Does the property coverage include a special property floater?
Okay, I'll ask what they mean on that
All right, so you're gonna ask about the floater,
special, what is that?
right?
No, Steve, we need to just think about that interior of the equipment we have inside, other than the trucks. Is that enough?
Well, that's why we're talking here, because if people have questions, we want to make sure we're all in agreement.
Yeah, Don and Bob Simon with his medical stuff, actually you. The recharge system. What else we got of significance?
Rod, where would a Scott pack that was on a truck, would that be content or would that be part of the vehicle?
We're part of the vehicle.
So anything that's on a vehicle will be part of that vehicle.
We're part of the vehicle.
I mean, we got a lot, if you were gonna replace that kitchen, the refrigerator and the gas stove, we have freezer. We have an ice machine. We have,
We've got that hose cleaner, that's got a value on it.
yeah, hose cleaner. I mean, maybe you want to discuss with her increasing that blanket contents limit.
What are we at now?
158, let's say 200.
Yeah,
Unless somebody objects.
I'll ask the question. I'll have it for next month. But
All
when
right.
are they wanting to have this in their hand?
12:15, which is
Sunday.
the meeting is the 16th.
Great.
Mm. All right, the checks require at least 2 signatures. Yes. The purchases, no. We reconcile. We don't know of any criminal acts. Our financial records audited by outside parties. Yes. Do we run bingo nights or games of chance? We do not. Schedule of covered entities, Schedule 1, computer and funds transfer fraud. We have a limit of 100,000. Fraudulent impersonation, we have a limit of 100,000, and identity fraud expense, we have a limit of 10,000. Public employee dishonesty, blanket per employee, we have a limit of 250,000. Public employee dishonesty, blanket per loss, we have a limit of 250,000. What are you thinking, anybody? Does that seem light, Rod, or am I just?
Rod stepped out.
No.
I can hear you. Hard for me to say, but I think maybe you want Flanagan to come down and look at this.
We'd have to have a special meeting.
Yeah, that's
on it.
such is life.
Yeah.
Well, look,
And
I
we
think
can
you
still do Zoom.
I think
She'll
you
join
can
us on a
call her.
Zoom.
I think you can call her and tell her, look, we're not going to have this done by the 15th. We want you to come down to the firehouse and see what we've got, and once that's in place, then it'll be sent to you.
Okay.
So you're going to contact her, Bob, see if you can line up a meeting.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, I can't do the 14th or the 15th of December. Thanksgiving week will be bad. Next week, I can't do Tuesday. I don't know, Mike, your Wednesdays generally are bad for you, is that correct?
Give me a couple of dates that are good.
So I could do the 16th, 18th, 19th of November. I could do the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of December. I could do the 10th of December. I could do the 14th. No, I can't do the 14th.
Can I have the calendar?
There's a few dates by. Anybody have any?
We don't all need to be there for this one.
No, but you would.
Yeah.
You and I, maybe Don could do it.
Yeah, or certainly all the commissioners are welcome to it.
Absolutely, but we don't need everybody there.
I
And
can't
then-
do Monday nights and last Wednesday of the month I can't do.
The last Wednesday of the month, so that's the day before Thanksgiving. I bet that's rescheduled.
Yeah, I forget when that, yeah, it might be next Wednesday then, but I can't do Monday nights either, but Tuesdays are good, Thursdays are good. Fridays.
So how about the 19th? Bob is looking good.
Okay,
The 3rd, that would be all right, Mike?
What day of the week is that? I don't have a calendar. in front of me.
Thursday.
That's fine.
The 10th
the 10th is good. Okay,
of December.
right. That
All
should
right,
be
how-
enough.
Yeah, there's some dates to go with.
Yeah, 19th, 3rd, and 10th. And that's
Okay.
7 o'clock, or you want to do it at a different time?
7 works for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Now, you said everybody didn't need to be there, right?
Right.
Well,
But you're welcome.
Well, the
you're
third,
very welcome.
the third, I have a zoning board of appeals that night. So 3rd of December.
The 3rd, you know what? I might have to be there, Russ. Good point. Good thing you brought that up.
So scratch the 3rd.
Scratch the 3rd for me.
19th of November and the 10th of November. That's
Of
getting a little
December.
tight.
10th of
But
December.
December. Can you give me another date?
Not that, Tuesdays you said are okay, Mike?
Yeah, Tuesdays are fine.
Yeah, the problem with Tuesday is the 8th is bad because we're doing elections. The 15th is bad because I got to make up that drill. I could do the 1st of December. 17th, I got to be at the planning board. So that's my Tuesday schedule.
So 1st of December is okay?
Yep.
There's 3. I'm good.
All right. All right.
And talk with Don and the team on, replacement values for these equipment. It'd be nice to have that before we meet.
All right. All right. You're going to contact her. And if you need this document, Bob, let me know. We'll get it to you.
Yeah, no, I probably won't at this time. We'll meet with her first and yeah.
All right. Now,
It doesn't have to be published.
I think we're likely to have,
Call it a workshop.
yeah, call it a workshop and let Karen know. We'll publish it. It doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen, for thinking. All right, Kevin, you out there somewhere? There you are.
I am here.
Facilities Committee update. What say ye?
Well, still waiting to hear back from Dennis. Dennis showed up from H2M Architects. Him and 2 other gentlemen from his company. They were very thorough, I thought. We're waiting to hear back from them. As a matter of fact, if I don't hear back from them within the next couple of days, I'll reach out to them. They were going to send us down a package. Now the other Mitchell Associates, Bob Mitchell from Mitchell Associates, I contacted him 2 days ago, and there was some miscommunication. This is what he wrote back to me. I sent him up answers to the 6 questions that he had back probably 3 weeks ago. And this is what he sent back to me just yesterday or the day before. He says, I wrote back to you the day I received your email. Unfortunately, I misspelled your email address highlighted below. The material I sent is attached here. Now, once again, Bob has the misunderstanding that we're just looking for a brand new firehouse, not to come down and evaluate the existing firehouse. So I did send him an email thanking him for his response, but what day in the very near future that him and his associates could come down and evaluate the existing firehouse and kind of do the same thing Dennis hopefully is going to do.
All right. So we're taking baby steps.
Yes, we are. Now, Dennis, like I said, Dennis from H2M Architects, which they're the ones up in Latham. I would say any day now, we're gonna hear something back from him.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
with their findings, their results and all that, they were upstairs in the attic. They were all over the place. They were outside, inside. So we should hear back from them within a couple of days. And then Bob from Mitchell Architects, I would think we'll hear back from him within a couple of days on when he can come down with his people and do the same thing Dennis did. And then we can move on with both of them from there.
All right, good enough.
Ke-
Anybody
Ke-
have any questions for Kevin?
Yeah, Steve, I do. Did they take a look at the footprint of where the existing building and roadway sits on our property and close to our property lines?
They were given, but Kevin gave him a copy of the paperwork, which shows that on a map. It shows the,
Okay.
you know, the aerial view and shows the yellow lines and shows that actually in front of the firehouse is town road. So they got that in a picture. They were taking the whole package and gonna make copies of it all.
Okay.
Isn't that
Right,
right?
and they were
Kevin?
gonna send that back to me too, which I haven't received that yet either.
All right. Now, a little bit out of sequence, but-
Steve?
Yeah.
Arts?
Yeah, I was gonna
who
say, does
attended-
anybody in the public have any inquiries of Kevin or Russ?
I had a fellow named Eric, who's one of the three fellows, and I told him I would send him the surveys, which I did send him the surveys, which probably show might bleed over into our current firehouse, but it shows where the septic is, where the well is, roadway, everything. Kevin, would you want a copy of those surveys so you've got them handy?
Absolutely, Arthur. Yeah, if you could do that, that's fine. And was Eric the gentleman from Rhinebeck?
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay.
Where, pray tell, did you dig up a survey, Art?
It might have been something that when we were looking at the roadway, we had the survey, and I talked to Rod quite a bit back and forth about right of ways and such. So that's a point in time.
Curious. I didn't know any survey existed that showed the septic in the well.
Yeah, I didn't know the septic was there or the well. Yeah, yeah. And
I'd love to see that at some
Yeah.
point in time. Anybody else? Glenn?
I'll add it on.
Yeah, Arthur, if you could send that to me, that'd be great. And Steve, yeah, one of the three gentlemen that showed up with H2M lives right in Rhinebeck.
All right, local guy then.
Yeah, that was very convenient.
All right, good deal.
Steve, I have a question for Art. Hey, Art, this is looking at the roadway, the new roadway, if you will, and the work that you did with the cemetery. Do you have any documentation to give Kevin if time goes on and we go that direction? Who to talk to, and what do you think we can do with that?
There was no discussion with anybody officially with the cemetery. If we needed to try and get a little bit of additional access at the intersection. But whoever's on the board at the time would be who you'd talk to.
Okay.
Elliot, do you have anything to add?
Sorry about that. I think that pretty much summarizes what we did, what we talked about. Do we have any, Kevin, do we have any idea when this other fellow is going to come down to see us? Mitchell, is that his name?
Yeah, Robert Mitchell, Bob Mitchell from Mitchell
Yeah.
Associates Architects. No, Elliot, unfortunately, he sent, we communicate, well, I sent something to him about 3 weeks ago and he sent something right back, but it didn't, it was in the wrong email address on his end. He sent it out to the wrong email address. Otherwise, I think we would have seen him by now. So that kind of It's slowing things down a little
Is,
bit.
is he not
But-
interested in, is he not interested in talking about anything less than a whole new building?
No, I'm not going to say that as of
Okay.
yet, anyway.
All right,
I think he just misunderstood.
okay. All
Where
right.
Dennis from H2M understood that, we were looking to survey what we have and, between what we have and or a new one.
Right.
Okay.
So
All right.
hopefully we'll get Bob down here from Bob Mitchell and we'll have both of them going and we can look at both of them.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Good
Okay.
deal.
And I'll let everybody know, obviously, when Bob sends down some dates, I'll send out some dates to everybody and we'll do it just like we did with Dennis.
All right. Sounds fine.
Okay. One last thing under old business, the TEK contract. Lisa called me and expressed that she was hesitant to commit to the contract because we seem to be trying to lock her in on rates. And as she explained to me, the medical supplies market is very volatile at this point, and situations where she used to pay $6 for a box of gloves, she's paying $12 for a box of gloves. Rod, is there something that we could put in, some kind of verbiage we could put in the contract relative to the fee schedules, representative fee schedule or something like that, that would loosen that up a little bit, but hold her to the rest of the tenets of the contract? Or how would you advise approaching that?
Well, if you're willing to allow her to increase the price of the box of gloves that she needs for the physicals, in exchange for that, you would have the right to back out of the contract. Would
Right.
be one way to do it. Or you could do it, she could increase the price up to no more than 10% and maintain the contract. But, you should have the ability to back out of the contract if she wants to change the terms. Or you could just say that, well, it's a 1-year contract and she can change the dollar amount on 30 days written notice, and you pay the freight.
What's your pleasure, folks? I would be in favor of 30-day
Steve,
notice.
is this for the firehouse itself or just
Yeah,
for the
physical,
physicals?
I'm sorry, for the physicals for the members.
Okay.
Well, they've been completed for this year, basically. So if we left it for a 1-year period, and if she thinks that it's necessary before we do the next physicals to amend those prices, I think maybe she could submit it to us to see if we're gonna agree to that.
Well, we're gonna have return to duty physicals if anybody goes out for any reason, and we're gonna have new member physicals. So it's gonna be an ongoing topic, right? And I am somewhat empathetic to the situation that a lot of her supply markets are volatile.
I mean, the board having the right to terminate the contract is protection against her exorbitantly increasing a price.
All right.
My experience with her in the past has been that she's a reasonable business person and she's not going to increase prices dramatically over what her costs are.
Right, and mine as well. So I would be in favor. As a matter of fact, I will move that we modify the verbiage such that with a 30-day notice, we'll accept an increase in the service prices of services offered up to 10%, and also an addition of verbiage that we have the ability to withdraw from the contract at any point.
I'll second that for
Okay.
discussion.
So just so I'm clear, if she increases the price more than 10%, you're going to back out of, you have the right to back out of the contract, but you're going to allow her to increase up to 10%.
Yep, with a 30-day notice.
Right, so if it's more than 10%, then you have the right to back out.
Yep. That's my motion. I have a second, so we can discuss.
Yeah, I'd like to see the contract that the board resolved to send her months ago backdated at the point before the physicals occurred.
You're gonna have to explain that better to me.
That contract should be in force for the physicals that we just had.
Yeah, well, I don't think she's planning on charging us more for the ones that are completed.
It's not about money. It's about having that thing in place before those physicals. We worked hard to get that in place for certain criteria. And it just, she ignored it and didn't communicate to us. Not happy with that at all.
Insight on that, Rod?
Well, what's your understanding of what she's going to charge you for the physicals now? For the physicals that were performed last month?
We already know that. We've actually paid for them with tonight's
So
check.
how can she charge you more for physicals that she's billed you for and you've paid for?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not even thinking in
So
terms
what's your
of the
concern?
money. We had criteria for each individual classification. She should have been, which she didn't do the previous year, doing the physicals for those criteria. I believe you did it verbally in the previous year. If we have,
Well, we had a written form, but it wasn't part of a contract.
yeah, and she deferred to a subordinate, and that subordinate looked the other way. And I'd like to see this a dated contract, because again, we resolved months ago to get it to her, and she ignored us and didn't respond to Karen. And even up till yesterday, she didn't respond. She talked to you, I believe. I'd like to see the contract that we signed up into, this goes to 2021, predated to the physicals she already gave.
You could leave that date, that original date on the contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there an issue with that, Rod?
No.
Okay.
Provided she'll sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really need to keep on if we do any more business with this TEK, she needs to be in communication to at least Karen, if not yourself, saying of her concerns. You don't wait until she's done the work and then say, oh, well, I don't like the contract. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't think that was her motive. We did have some spam, junk folder kind of issues with email. I mean, I've never had any issues with her communicating with me. I'm the physical liaison. It's always worked, but
the timing is really not good.
The timing has dragged on. There's no question. So anybody else, Mike, Russ, Kevin, have anything to add?
No, nothing to add from me.
Russ?
No.
Yeah, nothing there, Steve.
All right, that being said, the motion is to modify the verbiage in the contract to, with 30 days notice, allow for up to 10% increase in rates with the option to opt out of the contract if it exceeds that 10%. Is that right, Rod?
Yes.
All right, so Kevin, what's your
Aye.
vote? Mike?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. New business, any new business? I don't have any.
Need to coordinate with the guys. You said we're going to do it offline, but I don't have an opportunity to communicate with anybody, the chief or Kevin Russell, any other time.
All right, well, we can go to public. If there's no other new business, we can go to public and then we can let people go and you guys can coordinate.
I have one question.
Karen?
With the PenFlex statement, I got the December 31st participant or of 2019 participant statements. So I am going to mail them all out to all of the participants.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, you'll add that to the minutes that that's occurring.
Since you're doing that, Karen, might I suggest that you also include a beneficiary form for all of the participants?
Oh, good idea.
Rod, they're asking for it, and we're deficient on a number of our beneficiary pertaining to LoSAP.
Yeah, but
There's-
I've sent out letters and I rarely get anything back on the beneficiary. Whenever I send out a beneficiary form, I rarely get anything back.
That's the president should get on that one. Steve?
Well, if there's no beneficiary on the form, or if they don't have a beneficiary form on file, should they pass away, the estate will be the beneficiary.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's on us to chase it if we give them
No.
opportunity.
Right. But
Yeah,
that's a
and-
good idea to send out the form so that everybody gets a form. That's a good idea.
So if they get a form every year saying fill it out and they don't fill it out, they've made the choice that it's going to their estate. Yeah, it's not the district's responsibility to chase them to put a beneficiary in the form.
All right, any other new business? All right, from the public, Elliot, Glenda, I've got an unidentified iPhone on.
Steve, actually, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Are you guys gonna make up signs or some such thing for, I forget what the resolution was that with the election coming up in December?
There's a sign on the marquee at the ball field. There's gonna be a sign on the firehouse door for the 8th, and
Okay.
public notice was given, right, in our official newspaper, Karen?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I wasn't sure what the
I
outcome.
believe also, Bob, is it on the website? Bob
I
Simon?
have not sent Bob the notice for the website yet because in the dates that I got, that's not supposed to go to that website until between the 18th and 23rd. I don't
All
know
right, so
why.
sometime between the 18th and 23rd, we
So
will.
the 18th, I'm going to be sending it to Carol and Bob Simon.
All right, you'll get that on the website, Bob?
Yep, I'll put it on the website, also
Okay.
put it on Facebook as well.
All right, so I think that's represents a reasonable attempt to communicate.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, because it's gonna go out to the Clinton Community Board as well, so.
All right, great. All
Just in terms of the election, I had been picking up the ballot box.
Oh, that's
Somebody
right.
else will be picking up the ballot box? Yes, no?
I guess we have.
That was
Karen?
the question I was going to ask, yes.
It's really straightforward. You call them first so that they have it ready for you. 10 minutes to pick it up. I park in front of their doors, even though it says no parking, but I'm only stopping, so I think it's legal. And 5 minutes to drop it off. Anybody making a trip to Poughkeepsie, it's not time sensitive. You just have to get it soon enough and give it back at a reasonable time.
Is anybody in Poughkeepsie?
What date it's gotta be done?
Well, it's got to be done before the 8th.
Okay. And what kind of vehicle you gotta have, Art?
Pardon, Bob?
Is a Highlander big enough for this spot? What, I'm not even sure what this is. Is this just,
It's the box that we put that we allow people to put the ballots in.
so it will fit in a
Like a
Highlander?
big shoebox.
It'll fit in my Corolla.
Like a big,
Yeah, I'll talk to Karen about it. I can maybe do it this year if you want. I don't care.
All right, yeah, that would be appreciated. I used to go to Poughkeepsie every day, but not anymore. Okay, anybody else from the public? That being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All righty, thank you. I need a second.
Second,
Kevin, what's your pleasure?
aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Am I forgetting Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Now, if Don and Kevin, you could stay on the line,
And Russ also.
and Russ also, okay. Let's see if we can coordinate, looking at this phone and generator. Everybody else can hang around, but
Yeah, nothing secret. It's just Bob Simon might want to stay there too. Of course, he has to.
Yeah.
Don, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
good night, Karen.
Good night,
Thank you.
Karen.
I think you have to stay. Does Mike have to stay? He's asking.
Yeah.
No, Mike doesn't. He can certainly.
Oh,
It's not a big deal.
I'm driving home.
All right, here's Don.
So Bob, have you briefed Don on what you saw on that YouTube video pertaining to those gen sets?
Are you talking about the fact that if you put it at really low oil level, then it would keep running because there won't be any buildup in the pressure?
Yeah. Did you brief him on it?
We just did. No, I didn't get
Okay.
Just did.
Okay. And the other thing is, I asked you, do we have the worksheets of what the various people have done? Has the oil sending sensor been changed?
These are Kevin Russell questions.
Okay. Well, it would be on the worksheet.
Kevin.
I don't think the worksheet, I'd have to go back and look at the different worksheets. I know in one case, didn't they say there wasn't enough oil or something like that?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Original time, there was too much oil in it. Monday night, it ran for 35 minutes, shut down. I went out and the oil level on the dipstick was half full, or in the safe area, it was halfway down.
And the YouTube said it has to be like just above the end of the tip. Half doesn't do it. It's got to be real low.
Well, maybe it's still got a little bit too much oil.
Yeah, and Kevin, if I can do it, or if you want to try that, just so that you see a little bit of oil in the bottom.
On the bottom crosshatches.
It sounds then like the test has to be, we already know it will fail. This is software stuff too. We already know it will fail when it's half full for 35 minutes or something like that. So then we just lower it down to just below the tip.
Or just at the crosshatch indicator.
Right.
Now, if it goes into failure mode, there's another test. When it's in the failure mode, you can pull the connection to the oil sensor sending unit and ground it. If the machine starts working again, then it's a faulty sending unit. Even with but you do the low oil, that's the least intrusive. It's not, normally you don't run a machine like that. We all know that, but apparently these things are sensitive to it. It could still be a defective sending unit if it hasn't been changed. And then beyond that, I can pull the codes when it's in the failure mode. Kevin, do you know when it's in the failure mode, it does not have spark? The spark is inhibited, because that would be helpful.
Yeah, it shuts it down. I was there.
Yeah.
And when you try to start it again, it's not hooked into that.
Okay. And that's the start stop card, which I think I remember somebody changed. There's a relay in there that when it gets some conditions it doesn't like, it pulls the ignition. So Kevin, do you want to try that by sucking out more oil, or you want me to do it?
I can do it, I guess.
Yeah, bring it down so you just know that there's oil in it, but not, yeah.
Well, let me ask you, most things of any consequence, most engines have a low oil shutoff so that we don't accidentally cause damage to this thing by going too low. Do we know if that has a safety shutoff for low oil?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so there's two sensors. One is oil pressure and the other is low oil. They both have to be happy.
All right, so Kevin, you're gonna try that, and if that doesn't work, I think maybe depending on your comfort level as to grounding the sensing unit, disconnecting and grounding the sensing unit, if that doesn't work, we'll have to get Bob down unless you feel comfortable going after that aspect as well.
I don't know which.
No, we'll do the oil and we'll go from there.
All
Yeah,
right,
we'll go from there. Call me and I'll come over there. I'll put an inline switch so you don't have to screw around with wires, and you just throw the switch and you'll satisfy that sending unit if it's in a failure mode, as long as we have oil in it. And that's a real good start. It's stuff that we can do and it won't cost us any money. It won't take a lot of time either. Russ, any words?
No,
all right, let's give it a try and then, and we'll communicate and let people know what's going on.
I remember saying something to, I don't know, it was Don or Kevin just recently, matter of fact, about this, and I thought one of them told me that the plug was loose again or something, and that was, they thought, the reason it shut down. But apparently they've tried to run it again since then, and it's still shutting down.
Yes.
All righty.
All right, we got a path forward. Anybody else? All right, thank you all. Have a good evening. I got your message, Rod. I'll give you maybe a holler tomorrow night.
All right.
Thanks.
Good night.
All right.